There is something about Christmas in the 1970s that people who grew up then cannot forget. The colored lights glowing through frosted windows, the anticipation of the Sears catalog arriving, the way the entire season felt wrapped in magic. If someone experienced it, they know exactly what made those Christmases so special. This was a time when Christmas was still simple, but it felt enormous. Families gathered around real trees strung with bubble lights. Children waited for holiday specials that aired only once a year. The mall Santa was the real deal, and every kid believed it. This was the decade of Rudolph on CBS, Star Wars action figures under the tree, and grandmothers serving ambrosia salad at every gathering. The country was dealing with inflation and energy crises, but Christmas remained sacred. Families found ways to make the season feel abundant, even when budgets were tight. Let's walk through what Christmas actually felt like during that unforgettable decade. Some of this might bring back memories. Some of it reveals how different the holidays were just 50 years ago. Let's step into that world. Christmas decorations in the 1970s had a look that is instantly recognizable. The artificial aluminum trees of the 1960s were fading, replaced by real trees or realistic-looking artificial ones. These trees were covered with a familiar combination of ornaments: glass balls in deep reds, greens, and golds, handmade ornaments from school, and tinsel draped strand by strand until the tree shimmered. The lights were large bulbs in multiple colors: red, blue, green, orange, and yellow. Some families had bubble lights, tubes of liquid that would slowly percolate when heated. Watching those bubbles rise was mesmerizing for children. The lights generated real heat, and the smell of warm pine mixed with slightly hot electrical wiring became the scent of the season. Outside, homes were decorated more modestly than today. A string of colored lights along the roofline, maybe a plastic Santa and sleigh on the lawn. Luminarias, paper bags with candles inside, lined sidewalks in some neighborhoods. The effect was warm and welcoming rather than spectacular. Inside, houses featured ceramic Christmas trees, the green ceramic trees with colored plastic lights that plugged in and glowed. Grandmothers often had them, sitting on side tables and windowsills. Nativity scenes were displayed prominently. Christmas cards were taped around door frames or hung on ribbons. The cards kept coming throughout December, and families would read each one. The Sears Wish Book was the center of childhood Christmas dreams. This thick catalog arrived in the fall, and children would spend hours circling items they wanted. The toy section was studied with religious intensity. Pages got dog-eared. Some items were circled multiple times for emphasis. Parents would quietly note which pages had the most circles. The catalog was a shared family document, passed between siblings, each marking their territory. Toys in the 1970s reflected the culture. Evel Knievel stunt cycles, Easy Bake Ovens, Big Wheels, Hot Wheels tracks, Baby Alive dolls that ate and needed diaper changes, Rock'em Sock'em robots, Light Bright, Nerf balls, Pet Rocks in 1975. By the late 1970s, Star Wars action figures became the most wanted gifts in America. Parents waited in long lines, hoping stores had not sold out. Before we continue with the traditions and experiences that made Christmas in the 1970s so memorable, if you are enjoying this look back at how Americans really celebrated and want to explore more decades and places, consider subscribing. There are so many more stories about how Americans built the traditions we know today. Christmas shopping in the 1970s meant going to the mall or downtown department stores. Layaway was common for expensive gifts. Parents would put items on layaway months in advance, making small payments until everything was paid off before Christmas. Stores like Sears, JCPenney, Montgomery Ward, and local department stores were packed in December. The mall at Christmas was an event. Department store windows had elaborate displays. Santa sat in a special area, often with fake snow and decorations. The line to see Santa could take an hour. Children would sit on his lap, recite their wish list, and receive a candy cane. The photo with Santa was a family tradition. Shopping was done in person. There was no online ordering. If a toy sold out, it was gone. Parents would drive to multiple stores searching for popular items. The stress of finding that one toy a child desperately wanted was real. Some parents drove hours to stores in other towns. Television made Christmas special in ways that are hard to explain to later generations. Holiday specials aired once per year. Missing them meant waiting another entire year. Families scheduled their evenings around these broadcasts. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, A Charlie Brown Christmas, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, Frosty the Snowman, and Santa Claus is Coming to Town were essential viewing. The networks would promote these specials for weeks. When the night finally came, families gathered together. The commercials became part of the memory. Those animated specials were watched on televisions with rabbit ear antennas, the picture sometimes fuzzy, but the magic was clear. Christmas music played everywhere. Bing Crosby's White Christmas remained the standard, but the 1970s added new classics. John Denver and the Muppets released A Christmas Together in 1979. The Carpenters recorded beloved holiday albums. Christmas music played on AM radio, in stores, and on record players at home. 8-track tapes meant Christmas music could play in the car during holiday drives. Christmas dinner brought extended families together. Tables were crowded with dishes that seem almost exotic now. Green bean casserole with fried onions on top, ambrosia salad with mandarin oranges, coconut, and marshmallows, Jell-O molds in elaborate shapes, ham with pineapple rings, turkey with stuffing made from scratch, homemade pies, pumpkin and pecan, and mincemeat. Cooking started days in advance. The energy crisis affected Christmas in practical ways. Families were encouraged to use fewer lights. Some communities limited outdoor decorations to save electricity. The cost of heating homes was rising, making large gatherings more economical as families combined resources. Despite economic pressures, people found ways to make Christmas feel full. Church. Church on Christmas Eve remained central for many families. Children dressed in their best clothes. Candlelight services ended with the congregation singing Silent Night while holding small candles. The walk out into the cold December air, the candle still glowing, is a memory many carry. Christmas morning had its own rhythm. Children woke before dawn and had to wait for parents. Stockings hung on the fireplace were examined first. Oranges in the toe of the stocking, candy canes, small toys, then the presents under the tree. Wrapping paper flew. The living room filled with boxes and ribbons. Parents watched from the couch, coffee in hand, capturing moments with cameras that used flash cubes. What defined Christmas in the 1970s in America was presence. Families were together. Entertainment was shared. Anticipation built for weeks because there was no instant gratification. The wait made everything sweeter. The limitations made the abundance feel more meaningful. The decade had its challenges. Inflation made budgets tight. Gas shortages complicated travel. But Christmas remained a season when families came together, when children believed in magic, and when the entire country seemed to slow down and share something beautiful. For those with memories of tinsel and bubble lights, of waiting for Rudolph on television, of circling toys in the Sears catalog, there is always more history to explore.